Hey guys, I'm back again and I'm here to do an enormous book haul. Like, this is a shamefully huge book haul. I don't know, I might have to make this like 2 videos because it's just that many books here. So these are books that I have either bought, been gifted since last year, November. So November, December, and January, February of this year. So that's 4 months. There are some that are pre-orders and some that have been gifted and a lot that have been bought. But, you know, I'm just saying. All right, so let's get started so that we can make this not too long. I might just give like a little overview of some. I might read a little bit, but I'm just going to try to keep it really simple. So let's start with these. I have 6 books here, and these 6 books are all from Percival Everett. So Percival Everett is supposed to be one of my author discoveries. So of course, my main author discovery is Zola, Amy Zola, which I've been reading through the Who Gone Macau series, but I'm also wanting to discover more of the writings of Percival Everett. So I was gifted 1 and purchased 5 so that I could be ready for this year, because it would be nice if I could read all of these this year. So the first book was gifted to me by my friend Patrice Jones, and this is Telephone by Percival Everett. And this is the one that I think it has 2 different versions of this story, Telephone. I'm not sure how you can tell. Maybe it's something on the cover. I'm not quite sure, but I've heard about that. So this one, it says, Zach Wells, a laconic geologist slash paleobiologist, has the trappings of a comfortable life, yet is not contented. He's expert in the geological history of a cave in the Grand Canyon, but less so where his wife and daughter are concerned. And when his daughter develops unusual vision problems and has a seizure, the world of this family of 3 crumbles. Powerless in the face of his daughter's slow deterioration, Wells finds a note asking for help tucked into a jacket he's ordered online and sets off on a quixotic rescue mission. In Telephone, a deeply affecting novel of loss, grief, and renewal, Percival Everett outdoes even himself. Okay, so this one came out, I think quite a few years ago. Yeah, this came out in 2020. Sorry. So this one came out in 2020 during the pandemic. I'm going to try to read it this year. Okay, now this one is Dr. No. This one came out last year. And if I'm not mistaken, this one kind of has the trappings of sort of like a retelling of James Bond to a certain extent, but of course, very, very different. Okay, the next 4 I'm going to talk about, these are much earlier works from Percival Everett. So the first one I'm going to mention here is Glyph. This one is 1999. So it's about a child prodigy, but it says, with this wildly inventive and funny novel, Percival Everett has created his unlikeliest hero to date. Mute by choice, but able to read complex philosophical treatises and ponder the worth, not much, of Derrida and Barthes. Baby Ralph is considered mentally challenged by his father. Okay, so you can see we have a little bit of, the gifted child syndrome and his play on that. Okay, the next one I have is Assumption, and this one is from 2011. This one takes place in New Mexico, and it follows the main character, who's called Deputy Sheriff Ogden Walker. So he's a Black ranger, and this is in New Mexico. So this one, I'm very interested in seeing what he does with this one, because this reminds me of the Highway 66 series written by Attica Locke. So I'd be interested to hear what he does with this. And then the next one I have here is Wounded. Wounded was published in 2005. This one is John Hunt lives with his uncle in the beautiful high desert of Wyoming. A black horse trainer is a curiosity, but at least John is a familiar curiosity in these parts. Then the brutal murder of a gay man pushes a small community to the teetering edge of fear and tolerance. And John, caught up in the aftermath of the murder, must confront his own feelings about love, difference, and hate. So Wounded is one that caught my attention right away. So yeah. And then last but not least, I have God's Country, also by Percival Everett. And this one was, this one's even older, 1994. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I'm wondering if I should start to the earliest one and then work my way up, or the other way around. I don't know. I think I might just read what captures my desire at the moment. Okay, so this one, it says the unlikely narrator through this tale of misadventures is one Kurt Martyr, gambler, drinker, cheat, and would-be womanizer. It's 1871, and he's lost his farm, his wife, and his dog to a band of marauding hooligans. With nothing to live on but a desire to recover what is rightfully his, Martyr is forced to enlist the help of the best trader in the West, a black man named Bubba. So yeah, this looks like it could be really funny as well. So those are all of the Percival Everett books that I will be interested in reading this year for the Arthur Discovery. Okay, now the next bunch of books I'm going to talk about, these are all classics by Black American writers, and these were gifted to me by the publisher, which is called Mint Editions. Okay, so this is how they look from the side. They're beautiful. Okay, so we're going to start with the first one, which is The Colored Girl, Beautiful by Emma Azalea Hackley. Now, this is a republishing from a story from 1916. That was when it was first published. And I absolutely adore these colorful geometric shapes for the covers. Just beautifully done. And this is bringing back some of the old classics from Black American writers. So this one, it says, in The Colored Girl, Beautiful, Emma Azalea Hackley envisions the future as an opportunity for African American girls to grow into intelligent, independent young women for whom nothing is impossible. So this is quite the slim one. So it would be great to see what this one is all about. Okay, the next one is from Alexandre Dumas, the Fils. Of course, this is the son. So this is the author of The Count of Monte Cristo. And this is Camille. And this is also known as, in French, La Dame aux Camélias, which is one of the most famous works by Dumas. And this one, it says, popular romance novel by Alexandre Dumas. It is a tumultuous love story dampened by societal expectations and the reality of a prolonged illness. And it's called Camille. So this one is the only one that I have in here that is not from a Black American writer, because he's Black French. Okay, the next one is by George S. Schuler. Now, I haven't read anything yet by Schuler, but this is called Black Empire. And this one, let's see if I can get the publishing date. This one, the first publishing date was 1936 to 1938. Black Empire, it says, part satire, part speculative fiction. George S. Schuler's Black Empire follows the trials of Carl Slater after he is kidnapped by the incredibly charismatic but deranged Dr. Belsidus for witnessing a murder. Slowly discovering the depth of the doctor's insanity and the many moving pieces of his plans of revolution, Carl watches as a dream of an Africa for Africans is fully realized. So yeah, that sounds like it could be really interesting. The next one I have is The Marrow of Tradition by Charles W. Chestnut. This one was published the first time in 1901. 1901. When a white woman is murdered, the radical tensions that divide the town of Wellington reach their breaking point. A black man is blamed for the crime, but when his innocence is proven, a group of powerful white men decide to take matters in their own hands. The Marrow of Tradition is a historical novel by African-American author Charles W. Chestnut. Yeah. Okay, now the next one I have is also Charles W. Chestnut. It's called The House Behind the Cedars. And this one says, set in the post-Civil War South, The House Behind the Cedars follows the story of young Rena Walden, a biracial woman who catches the eye of George Tyron, a wealthy white lawyer. She struggles with the truth of her heritage and identity, unsure whether or not to share it with George. Can they escape social pressure and pursue their romance despite prejudice? Okay, now this one was first published in 1900. And last but not least, I have The Uncalled by Paul Laurence Dunbar. This one says, Freddie Brent is only a boy when he finds himself alone in the world. Following the death of his mother, he is taken in by an unmarried woman. Despite her good intentions, Miss Hester proves woefully unprepared to raise a child. Her suitor, Eliphalet, does his best to help the boy. The Uncalled is a novel by Paul Laurence Dunbar. Okay, so this sounds like it could be interesting as well. This was first published in 1896. So all of these are going to be fantastic reads, and I highly recommend picking up classic copies from Mint Editions. Is what's wonderful about this particular publishing company is that they print as the books are ordered. So there is no waste. And not only that, they revive them and they print them in these lovely covers. They have hardcover now. They started with mostly paperback, and now they have these beautiful hardcovers as well. Thank you, Mint Editions. Thank you. All right, so next on my list, I have these 3 French books. All right, so I went to Paris, I think it was about a week and a half ago, and I went to Beaubourg, which is the Musée Georges Pompidou. And while I was there, I was basically going there to have a look at the bookstore. And while I was in there, because this bookstore is fantastic, because it has all kinds of cards and notebooks and all kinds of cool stuff. And then it has a plethora of art books, either from old modern art collections or, from the recent ones that are there now, or other books. And they have literary books mixed in with the art books. And I think that's really cool. So while I was there, I saw they had a whole table with books by Annie Ernaux, and she just won the Nobel Prize in 2022. So I decided to pick up 3 of the books that I was interested in. So the first one I picked up was this one, Une Femme. And notice the book is very slim, but this was costly. It was like €7.50. It's a little bitty book. But yeah, so I picked up this one, so I'm excited to get to that one. I picked up Passion Simple, which is another one that I'm interested in, and La Femme Gelée. So I picked up these 3, and it would be nice to get to these this year because, frankly, they're very small and should be pretty fast reads. All right, next I have on my list is Violetta, and this is by Isabel Allende. It says, One Woman, 100 Years of History, One Unforgettable Story. I don't really know what this one is about, but I'm not mad at it. I just want to figure out, I want to read something from this writer because I have not read ever any Isabel Allende. None of it. Not even House of Spirits. So I'm hoping that this one, being that it's quite small, but like, God, the font size is just, it's horrible. It's minute. But I'm hoping that this will get me into Isabel Allende. I think this book came out last year, and then this is the paperback edition that has just come out. Yeah, this came out last year. Sadly, this is like mass market, so it's super small though, but I'm happy about reading that one. Okay, the next book on my list is Julie Otsuko's The Swimmers. I read The Buddha in the Attic last year, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very interesting read. No, it wasn't last year. It was last year I read it, yeah. So I saw this was her new one that came out. I think it came out last year. The Swimmers. The Swimmers. Yeah, it came out last year, and I have a feeling this one might be a Women's Prize long list book, I think. But when I heard what it's about, so it's about these people that all go swimming at the local community pool, and then a crack starts to appear in the pool, and from that moment, a lot of change happens at that swimming pool and to the people that are going to swim at this pool regularly. So, yeah, so I thought this would be really good. Next, I picked up The House of Eve by Sadiqa Johnson. Now, this one I pre-ordered because last year I read, was it last year that I read? Yeah, I think it was last year that I read Yellow Wife. And I could not believe it. I picked up Yellow Wife in February. It was the publishers that sent it to me. And I read it, and I could not believe how good it was. I think I read that one. I read it really quickly. I read it like in 2 sittings, but I could have read it in 1. It was just that good. So her new book, The House of Eve, is out. Sadly, ignore that horrible little sticker there. And I don't really know what it's about, and I don't really care because I know it's just going to be good. It's going to be good, this one. All right, the next book I have on my list is this one, which is called Honor by Ferti Umurgar. And this one I ordered this one, I think it was last year. This one came out in 2022. But I ordered it, I think I ordered this one in either January or December, early December, before I got sick. And I can't wait because this is about, let's see if I can read you a little bit. It says, story of 2 couples and the sometimes dangerous and heartbreaking challenges of love across cultural divide. Indian American journalist Smita has returned to India to cover a story, but reluctantly. Long ago, she and her family left the country with no intention of ever going back. As she follows the case of Meena, a Hindu woman attacked by members of her own village and family for marrying a Muslim man, Smita comes face to face with a society where tradition carries more weight than one's own heart, and a story that threatens to unearth the painful secrets of Smita's own past. I have a feeling this one's going to be good. Okay, next one was like, this is like an auto buy. Like, did y'all read Stay With Me? Because if you haven't read Stay With Me, you need to read it. So the author of Stay With Me, Ayubami Adebayo's new book is out. It just came out this year. This is the paperback edition. This is the UK edition. I'm not sure who the publisher of this one is. Wait 1 second. Canongate. And it's called A Spell of Good Things. I cannot wait for this because I have a feeling it's going to be damn good. Because let me tell you, if you did not read Stay With Me, you're missing out. That book is so good. She was robbed. She was robbed of that Women's Prize award. She should have gotten a Women's Prize. And I think the year that she didn't win, it was Oh, I can't think of the name of the book now that won. But I was mad because I really, really wanted her to win for Stay With Me. But anyway, so this is her new book. This is the UK edition. And it says, a dazzling story of modern Nigeria and two families caught in the riptides of wealth, power, romantic obsession, and political corruption. It says, Eniola is tall for his age, a boy who looks like a man. His father has lost his job, so Eniola spends his days running errands for the local tailor, collecting newspapers and begging, dreaming of a big future. Rurakola is a golden girl, the perfect child of a wealthy family. Now an exhausted young doctor in her first year of practice. She's beloved by Kunle, the volatile son of family friends. When a local politician takes an interest in Eniola and sudden violence shatters a family party, Rurakola and Eniola's lives become intertwined. In this breathtaking novel, Ayobami Adebayo shines her light on Nigeria, on the gaping divide between the haves and the have-nots, and the shared humanity that lives in between. I know this is going to be good. Okay, next book I picked up, and this was also a pre-order, is Age of Vice by Deepti Kapoor. And this one came out in January of this year. This is one that I know is going to be really good. It says, Age of Vice is a novel propelled by the enormous wealth, startling corruption, and bloody violence of the Wadia family. Loved by some, loathed by others, feared by all. Among lavish estates, decadent parties, predatory business tactics, and political maneuvering, three lives become dangerously entwined. Ajay is the watchful servant born into poverty who rises through the Wadia ranks as a trusted fixer. Sunny is the playboy heir who dreams of escaping from and outshining his father, whatever the cost. And Neda is the inquiring journalist caught between her morality and her desire. In a world fueled by loss, pleasure, greed, yearning, violence, and revenge, will these characters' connections become a path of escape or to annihilation? This is quite the chunker, but I feel like this is one that is going to suck me in, and I will not be able to stop reading. I have a feeling. Okay, the next book I have on my list is True Biz by Sarah Novick. So that's this one. Now, I picked this one up because I have recently, it's not a recent thing, it's actually an old thing. I have always wanted to learn sign language. And when I saw this book, it just got me so interested in picking it up because of that. So it says True Biz with a question mark. The students at the River Valley School for the Deaf just want to hook up, pass their history finals, and have politicians, doctors, and their parents stop telling them what to do with their bodies. This revelatory novel plunges readers into the halls of a residential school for the deaf, where they'll meet Charlie, a rebellious transfer student who's never met another deaf person before, Austin, the school's golden boy, whose world is rocked when his baby sister is born hearing, and February, the headmistress who is fighting to keep her school open and her marriage intact, but might not be able to do both. As a series of crises, both personal and political, threatens to unravel each of them, Charlie, Austin, and February find their lives inextricable from one another's and change forever. This is a story of sign language and lip reading, disability and civil rights, isolation and injustice, just love and loss, and above all, great persistence, daring and joy, absorbing and assured, idiosyncratic and relatable. This is an unforgettable novel into the deaf community and a universal celebration of human connection. So, yeah, this is one that I think I'm going to enjoy reading as well. Okay, now the next one is this one, which is The Diary of Sarah Forbes Bonetta, and this is by Victoria Princewell. Now, Victoria Princewell wrote The Palace of Flowers, which I've spoken about on here before. This is her new novel, her second novel, and it is a YA novel. I don't usually, get down with reading YA, but this is Victoria Princewell, and I know she's going to bring it. But this is basically the story of this young Yoruban, I think she's Yoruban princess, who given as a gift to Queen Victoria. And so she's writing about that. But this is a beautiful cover, and I know she's going to kill this story. So I said I wanted to read it. Next on my list is this one, which is called Fire Rush by Jacqueline Crooks. Now, this one was blurbed on Twitter by Bernadine Evaristo. And as soon as I started reading what it was about, I was completely hooked and had to get it. This is one I'm definitely reading this year for sure. She is Black and British. It says Yamaye lives for the weekend when she can go raving with her friends at the Crypt, an underground club in the industrial town on the outskirts of London, where she was born and raised. A young woman unsure of her future, the sound is her guide. A chance to discover who she really is in the rhythms of those smoke-filled nights. In the dance hall darkness, dub is the music of her soul, her friendships, her ancestry. But everything changes when she meets Moose, who she falls deeply in love with and who offers her the chance of freedom and escape. When their relationship is brutally cut short, Yamaye goes on a dramatic journey of transformation that takes her first to Bristol, where she is caught up in a criminal gang and the police riots sweeping the country, and then to Jamaica, where past and present collide with explosive consequences. So yeah, and I mean, look at this cover. My goodness, this has got to be a good book. And last but not least, my joy has arrived, and it arrived today. Wild, Beautiful, and Free by Sophronia Scott. I cannot wait. This is Sophronia Scott's retelling of Jane Eyre with a cast that is majority Black. I cannot wait to get into this one. This is the April Read So Lit Patreon book club pick. And oh my God, I cannot wait for April to get here. This book, oh my God, I can't wait. All right, so that's it. This was a long one. I tried to be as fast as I could. As you can see, out of control here. Let's just say I hope I can get at least half of these read soon. Because damn, there's a lot of books. So I hope you enjoyed this. Comment below and let me know which one of these you're interested in, or if you've read any of them, what you thought about them. Please, no spoilers. Just say, yeah, you're going to love it, or no, you're going to hate it. Girl, give up. Just let me know. So look out for another video very soon. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.